Hi everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in today's crochet tutorial we are making mini donuts. Now I've made donuts before on YouTube as a couple of tutorials, but I like to think that I'm revisiting some old patterns, improving them and maybe even making them smaller. So let's begin, shall we? So for this tutorial I'm using some sport baby weight yarn, and the main basic colour is going to be this sort of creamy brown colour, and then you want your icing topping colour and maybe some decoration colour as well. So I think I'm going to make a kind of toffee flavoured, I don't know, caramel flavoured donut today. You're going to need a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and with this yarn I am using a 2mm crochet hook, and you're also going to need some toy stuffing or yarn scraps for stuffing, so I'm going to use some yarn scraps. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our basic donut colour, and we're going to do a little slip knot, and we're going to chain 9 to begin. Chain 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then what we're going to do in our second chain from our hook, so we don't count the loop on our hook, there's our first chain, there's our second. Into the second we're going to do 2 single crochet. Now this pattern's in US terminology, so in UK terms it's going to be a double crochet. So 2 single crochet in that second chain from your hook. And we want to do 2 single crochet in each chain along, and we'll end up with a stitch count of 16. So 2 single crochet in the next chain, 2 single crochet in each chain along. Okay, just coming up to the last chain, 2 single crochet in the last chain as well, and it should be a little bit curly like this. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, don't count that as a stitch, and turn, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch across. So starting in that first stitch we do 1 single crochet and just work 1 single crochet in each stitch across, and you should still have a stitch count of 16. Okay, and when you get to the end, just be careful not to miss that one right on the end. Do check you've got a stitch count of 16, because that last one can be hidden on the end. And now what we want to do is we want to join our topping colours. This may be the pink or the dark brown. Mine's going to be this sort of whatever flavour this is, caramel flavour. And we're going to just join that in the chain 1. So just hold that tail end, bring that through the loop on your hook, pull your tail ends, and now we're working with our topping colour. Okay, then we're going to turn our work and we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch across, and we're going to do that for 2 rows. Okay, so 2 rows this time. So starting in that first stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch across, keeping a stitch count of 16, and we'll do that for 2 rows. Okay, so I shall do that and then I shall come back. It's just coming up to the last stitch on the second row, and hopefully you've got something that looks like this. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together until we get to the end, until we've got a stitch count of 8. Okay, we're just going to do a nice normal single crochet 2 together, so rather than the invisible decrease. So we're going into the first stitch, bring the yarn through, into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through all 3, and just repeat that all the way across. Next stitch, pull through all 3. Okay, and the last 2, single crochet those 2 together, and it doesn't really matter which way it pops out, but we're going to leave a long tail for sewing. Let's cut your topping colour and leave a long tail for your other tail end as well. Then we're just going to pull that loop through. Okay, and now what we're going to do is just going to neaten up the short ends. So we've actually got a short end here and a short end here. So we want to sew those onto the inside, whichever side that is for you. So get your yarn needle and just neaten up the 2 short ends. Okay, so they're hidden more on the inside. I'm just going to trim them down a little bit so they don't get in our way, but we can use them as stuffing if we want to. And now what we're going to do is sew this together and turn it into a donut. Okay, so just making sure your tail ends are hidden on the inside. We're going to take some yarn scraps or some toy stuffing and we're just going to place that along the middle. Okay, don't worry if it's sticking out at the end. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just fold that up long ways and we're going to sew the 8 stitches either side. Now you can use either tail end, so I'll just use this creamy coloured one. And what you want to do is just match up, it's going to be a little bit hard with the stuffing. You just want to match up the 8 stitches, so there should be 8 stitches either side. So I'm just going to find that chain and then that stitch and sew that together. Okay, let's cut down this stuffing on the end. Okay, poke that inside. You can neaten that up in a minute. Okay, so that's our first stitch, and then we're just going to loop it straight back over to the other side again. We're going to find our next stitch and again match it up with a stitch the other side and do that all the way across for the 8 stitches. Okay, and just do that all the way across. So we find the next stitch on this side and match it up with the stitch on the other side, and there should be 8 in total. Okay. Okay, so it's coming up to the other end and we can trim down our stuffing if there's any sticking out. Just poke that in the other end, okay? And same if there's any still sticking out this end. Okay, so now we've got a tube and what we want to do is sew the 2 ends together. We can neaten out the stuffing at the end. But you want to match up the colours, so at the moment we're still working with the cream. So as we line up, the cream is on the bottom, so let's just get that back down to the bottom. Okay, so we want to match up, turn it upside down and go from side to side, just grabbing some stitches, matching up the colours. Okay, then do the same for your topping colour on the other side. Then we just want to work on the top again, just matching up either side, grabbing a little bit of the same coloured yarn, avoiding the cream, and then just sew up the top side. And then once you've done that, you just want to hide your tail ends. So I'm just going to neaten off, hide these tail ends, and then we'll add some sprinkles or other icing, whatever you want to decorate your little donut with. Okay, so there's our basic little donut shape with its kind of caramel topping, and I think I will get some dark brown and just sew on some stripiness. So all I did for these ones was just sew tiny little lines to make sprinkles, and to do that I took a short length of whatever colour you want to use, tied a knot in the end, then trim down close to that knot, take your yarn needle on the other end, and then just, now your join is here, so if you do start sewing, start sewing near the join and work your way around to the other side of the join, otherwise it's quite hard to sew through that join. So I'm just going to come through a stitch here, and then as you pull, just pull gently, and that little knot should disappear on the inside. and then that's hidden. Okay, so I'm going to sew on some swirly sprinkles, lines, and then see how it looks at the end. And there we go, I've just sewn on some lines, and I kept the lines quite straight and then just made them curved at the end. But there we go, we've got a different type of donut. We've got our little strawberry raspberry donut, chocolate donut, and there we go. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope this could be used for jewelry, for earrings, key rings, whatever you want to use it for. So hopefully you'll give it a go. And if you're on Instagram, do tag me Happy Bow Crochet so I can see little donuts that you make. And I will be back for some more crochet crafting fun next Friday. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. And a huge thank you, as always, to our Member Plus members, our monthly subscription members on the website. So without you guys, these videos would not be possible. So thank you. And if you're interested in our monthly subscription, there's a crochet magazine, there's behind the scenes, there's a podcast and exclusive patterns and so much more. So do check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.